moving into one that's a bit more popular. There was a 5 year gap here in his movies, and that is Zodiac from 2007. This has been one of my favorite movies of all time for a long time. I think it's like the third of his movies that I remember watching. I did not see it when it came out. A little too young, but I did watch it when I was in high school, and then I've seen it a couple times since then. I think all the performances are good. If I had to pick a favorite, I might have to go with Robert Downey Jr. here. But him and Jake Gyllenhaal and Mark Ruffalo are all fantastic.
Yeah, I think Zodiac's spectacular. It's up. I won't say where it ranks yet, oh, ha, ha, but it's up there. It's fucking up there. I think I agree with you. I think everyone dominates in this role. The I saw Tyler give it a review, saying that the scenes with the actual killer were overacted and cringy. I didn't think that at all. I thought they were creepy as all
Yeah.
hell. I think that they were like done a bit differently, but that like it kind of makes you cringe on purpose because you're doing it from the
Yeah.
memory of these people, and it kind of seems a bit odd. Is kind of what I'm trying to say. It's kind of, and that's kind of the point because the people are just going off their memory when they're guns to their head,
Yeah.
like so.
Yeah, and yeah, I definitely have never had that thought. I mean, I don't think I saw that review, but that's an interesting take. I definitely don't feel like I've ever thought anything in that movie was overacted. I actually think a lot of the performances were fairly subtle,
Yeah,
and like mostly very authentic. They didn't really feel like they were overdone at all. But I guess I kind of grew up with this movie because I saw it when I was so young. And I will say, being someone that's from California, I was very familiar with this story and this, serial killer that it's based on. And so I feel like when you're near a place and there's a movie about a place that's not too like far from where you are,
yeah,
you're just naturally going to be more invested. I don't know if other people feel that way, but I just feel like for me, like knowing that it was happening in the state that I'm living in, like it's intriguing to me. I want to know about this story. What happened? How did it unfold? And so I found it really intriguing.
yeah. I think yeah. Oh, I wholeheartedly like. I knew next to nothing about the Zodiac Killer when I watched this. I watched it for the first time a few weeks ago. Like this is one of the ones that was like
Oh, really?
this was like a gaping hole in my watch list was Zodiac.
Wow, I did
Yeah.
not realize.
Yeah, so I loved this film. I think it has one of the best openings in Fincher's filmography as well. Um,
Yeah. The
the
color palette in this one is really good. It's one of my
yeah,
favorites of his. Like the
very
cinematography,
smoky.
obviously, but just yes, the smoky kind of hazy environment really sets the tone. And as it being that it's a Bay Area, like I'm not sure how familiar you are with like San Francisco Bay Area, but it's very foggy and
Yeah,
cloudy and colder than like the rest of California. And so it really sets the tone well for that location. So I think that was done perfectly.
yeah. It's a lot scarier than I kind of envisioned it. Like in terms of just like
Yeah.
the kind of the tone and everything around it. Even just like the murder scenes, of course, are going to be creepy as all hell. The worst one for me, the one that like made me actually like cringe, like with kind of a bit of. Oop, am I on mute? I'm not on mute. Cool. I think I just accidentally tapped the mute button. Don't know. The one that made me cringe a little bit with like a little bit of terror was when he picked up the single mother on the side of the road and he's in the car. And he says like the line of like, "I'll throw the baby out the window before I kill you." And it's like that in itself is one of the most terrifying lines I've
Mhm.
ever heard. It's horrifying. But the Jake Gyllenhaal scene towards the end in the basement is
Yeah.
so tense, so terrifying. And it's like every wrong move could get him killed here. You don't know who to trust. You don't know what's happening. And I think
He's
that
so good in this.
he's so good in this. He's so good in
He's good in
this.
everything. I mean, let's be honest, but
Yeah.
he's really good in this. Robert Downey Jr. I definitely think is like my standout, but Jake Gyllenhaal is obviously amazing. He's amazing in everything, like I just said, and I even think like some of the supporting actors, like Brian Cox and some of the other people, are also like they just all are very committed to what they're playing. And it's hard to do when you have these kind of stories that are based on real life serial killers because it's a dark theme and it's obviously like affects real people in a real way. So you have to be very delicate in the way that you approach it. And I think it was done really well.
Yeah. Wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Great movie. I don't want to keep going on because I could talk about this one for a
Yeah.
while, but we will move on to the next one.